agendas we have for this session. We are going to be, we'll know more about TLP from Srabani, and then Anando would help us understand more about the academic design and overview of the program. Then a snapshot into life experiences and TLP as a journey for the cohort. Then Alex would help us get more deeper into AI and machine learning, as a skill, as a course, as he takes in this program. And then Hitesh would help us understand about how machine learning and data science are, promising careers, and how TLP has been able to deliver on these promises. And then we'll of course open up for any queries, questions, comments you have for us in this session. So now on this note, I again welcome all of you. Very excited to have you all with us. And now I invite Srabani to just take us further. Srabani, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Pawan. So congratulations, everybody. As Pawan said, we are delighted with you being here. It has not been easy, and you have rightfully earned your place. On behalf of the Plaksha community, so I'm really, really proud to welcome all of you as you embark on this transformational journey called the Plaksha Technology Leaders Program, or TLP. So quick, if we could just have the slide up, Pawan. Yeah. So Plaksha really started as a dream by our founders and trustees comprising over 100 CXOs and entrepreneurs to reimagine technology education in the country. Our main goals really are to make engineering education more interdisciplinary, to enable industry innovation and startups, and promote research for grand challenges in collaboration with industry and government. So here you can see some of our esteemed founders. In fact, Hitesh, who Pawan introduced, is also on the panel to talk to all of you. We aim to nurture graduates who will work on solving some of the toughest challenges of the 21st century through our programs, just like all of you here are. Moving on. So we are guided in our programs and research by academic advisors from stellar global institutions. You can see we have a very, very eminent lineup, names like Dr. Abhijit Banerjee, the Nobel laureate in economics, who are among them. Moving on. Yeah. So the program really will teach you the TLP, which is almost a year-long program, which is fully residential, which has about 32 courses taught by around 30 faculty. When we met you in your interviews, a lot of you said you want to be here because you wanted the residential experience. So it is, there'll be 50 odd students at our campus in Mohali, and we'll of course show you some photographs of the campus later. And as you all know, this is a program which is co-designed and co-delivered with UC Berkeley, and Alex is also on this panel, who is a faculty at UC Berkeley. We also have Purdue University as one of our academic partners. I will now request Ananda Sen Gupta, who Pawan introduced earlier, who is a member of the TLP Academic Committee and a faculty for product management, to provide an overview of the academics at the program. Ananda, over to you.
Thanks, Srabani, and welcome to the new cohort. Just next slide. So when we dreamt about this program a few years back, one of the most important things that we thought about is how do we make a difference in lives of the students, and of course in our country. And so the point is, if you go by the old paradigm of the way we have engineering being taught in colleges and the way we go forward, we have a very standardized approach to life. And then it comes that people have to figure out how they can add in other things on their own. And as a result, people go through these journeys which are meandering all around. And then a small group of people, of course, make it. But the point is, how do we expand that scope? So the way we thought of our program is to how do we bring an inflection point in your career journey, and you can just jump onto a future wave. And if you think like that, that's how we approached the whole program. And when you hear about Tech Leaders Program, the whole point was we want to build technology leaders who can stand on their own, whichever kind of organization they go into, whether it's a path on entrepreneurship, whether it's a path on research, or whether it's path through a corporate journey. Any of those places, you could stand out and with the latest technology knowledge. And that was the theme of behind this program. Next slide. So if you think about that, what I just said, our core technology, the theme in this program, we approached is that saying that the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data sciences, this space to be the technology core of this program. When we sat down with at the Sutaja Center at UC Berkeley and met with the faculty there, then we sat down with people at Google Brain, and we actually designed this program with a lot of conversations. And and Alex will talk a little bit about the AI curriculum, but the interesting thing is their team was, Alex was also at UC Berkeley Sutaja Center at that time. And when we sat down, the idea was we looked at their data X curriculum and said that how do we design something which is very exciting. And so in that, what we said was, of course, we have to have a technology core. But at the same time, when we should not be teaching programming, or we're not teaching AI and ML as just as a topic, but we also want people to come out and build solutions. To do such a thing, you really need to apply the concept of design thinking, systems thinking, the human-computer interaction, how do people interact with solutions. So we wanted to bring that fundamental theme into this. So that's our second pillar that you're seeing there. And then the third pillar would be, how do we, and the second pillar also consisted of, one more thing, that the grand challenge aspect. So when we are really trying to solve large problem sets, there's no way you can just do it with technology itself, but you have to understand how to apply technology and how to build products in some sense that human beings can use. And hence, looking at grand challenges, things like agriculture, things like pollution, healthcare, financial systems, those are much larger problems to solve. And how does AI/ML apply there? That's something that we wanted to focus on. When the third pillar was about real-world experiences, and the next year, what we're going to spend time on would be people who want to become entrepreneurs. They will have the opportunity to actually listen to actively from real-world entrepreneurs, as well as probably venture funding community who will come and talk about how to think as an entrepreneur and what makes sense and how to make sense of the world outside. The other side is the industry capstone. So if you have a new idea of your own, you could run through an entrepreneurial capstone, which would be a certain period of time given to you to nurture your idea, and with, of course, help from the mentors, as well as industry capstone, people who want to go into building products with current organizations. They will have input from those organizations along with input from a faculty to help you define solutions. And the final pillar is about understanding self and leadership. What we have found is people who go on to become leaders have this sense of self and also how to work with large teams. So, and also, of course, as a result, lead them as they work with them. So we want to teach you that, how to get those features inside yourself. So we have courses in persuasive presence, which is about communications, courses about designing your lives, then leadership and group dynamics. And also the beauty of Plaksha is, the TLP program is, you are going to have one-on-one mentorships. Every individual has a mentor attached to him or her, which allows you to bounce off ideas and think about how to build your career ahead. Next slide. So this slide just talks about some of the courses. This is, by the way, our current course program, the way it's run over 8 terms. And when we start, as you will see, we have some building blocks. We say, since you are coming in from mixed background. Some of you will be computer science people and have a lot of experience or understanding of programming, but many of you will not be. And we want everyone to come up to some level before they get into the deeper aspects of AI/ML. So we start with teaching math and Python programming. So the idea is that understanding the concept behind that, but we also start with some amount of design thinking approach, designing a live topic and some infrastructure topics. Why? Because again, the idea is that you understand what you're going to work with going forward. And then the courses go on to the following terms. You'll see a path from the 4 pillars: the technology core, there's a technical social context, the real world applications about all the solutions that you're thinking about, and the self and leadership aspect. So we have a mix of these courses that slowly builds your knowledge and makes you go through on this path of becoming a technology leader on the way. So this is an 11-month program that we run from the September to July last year. This year, we're going to start a little early, and we will run it for about 12 months. So it'll start in August and run till July. So, and this is a slide that I'm personally quite proud of, because I've been very involved with recruitment of a lot of the visiting faculty. As you can imagine, since this course was 11 to 12 month course, a lot of the faculty members are coming in for a period of time to teach. So we have 30 top-notch faculty for about 32 courses. So you can imagine there's a lot of attention that we have and a lot of effort that we have put in here. So the faculty are really top-notch and from top universities, as well as people with a deep experience and understanding in the industry. So we have, for example, Srikant Velamakani, who is actually a CEO of Fractal, which is one of this very exciting AI/ML company. And he brings in a lot of the industry understanding of how to think of your career going forward. While at the same time, if you go back to Dr. Ravi Kothari, who teaches the main AI/ML core program, he has himself been a professor and then has been a chief scientist of IBM Research. So he has both the understanding of what to think of academically, as well as how to think in the industry and research aspects. So you will, as you see the list, and of course you have seen it on our website most probably at this time, you will realize that the quality of faculty members here are just extraordinary. And of course, Alex is one of the faculty members here as well, who is going to talk to you a little bit later. Next slide. All right, I'm going to hand over back to Srabani. And of course, I'm willing to, most welcome to send questions out on the chat or later in the session.
Thank you, Ananda. So really this 1 year with us will not be an academic journey on a standalone basis. And, you know, I'll show you some slides which will illustrate exactly what we mean. So along with the classes, we have weekly or bi-weekly guest sessions. These are informative, exciting, conducted by entrepreneurs, CEOs, CTOs, founders and trustees of Plaksha, social change makers, academics, experts in AI/ML data science, Fortune 40, under 40 leaders. 1 year, we even had an ex-US Navy SEAL. So many, many more such interesting people. In fact, I think some of you may have already started attending these sessions, but all of you will get the opportunity to attend along with the current cohort. And these invites will be sent to you all very shortly. Moving on to the next slide. So wanted to talk about mentorship. Mentorship is something which Ananda touched upon. And really, this is one of the signature elements of the TLP program. We have every student gets an opportunity to be guided by eminent leaders throughout the program. So at every stage of their academic and professional development, our tech leaders can build strong networks with successful role models. Mentors guide and assist mentees in thinking through their life goals or major professional decisions during, after TLP, and also reviewing their professional development during TLP. So discussions could range, you know, from career paths to upskilling. Should we go for higher ed? Should I work on my own startup? Should I go in for research, and many more? So we have 40 odd mentors in our panel, and some of them are there: Rajat Monga, Dr. Nidhi Tiwari, Dr. Hari Bhaskar, Gaurav Suri. And as I said, they are eminent industry leaders who come from various walks of life. Moving on to the next slide. This is, so some of you may have already participated in Plaksha's annual technology conference called Infinity 2.0, which had a tremendous response. This is the second year. And we had a wide variety of speakers and participants. And of course, as you come into the Plaksha community, you'll get the opportunity to be a greater part of sessions, thought leadership sessions like Infinity and many others. Would like to just quickly take you through some photographs of our campus. So we have a sprawling 50-acre campus in Mohali, which is tech-enabled and energy efficient with an emphasis on sustainability. Our campus aims to be net zero on energy, water, and waste. You will become part of a vibrant community. So this is our cafe. You can see our library, our classrooms. There's a photograph on the right-hand corner of the undergraduate students welcoming the present TLP batch as they move from the campus in Gurgaon to Mohali. And that's also one view on the left-hand side of the academic blocks, as well as what we call the clock tower. Some more photographs in the following slides. That's one of our cafes, one of our faculty on communications, Professor Amit Kumar, doing an open air class with the students of the current batch. We also have the Bharti Academic Center and the Havells Research Block in the other couple of photographs. And the third last, the photograph on the extreme right is of the hostel building, which also has the various hostel rooms. Each floor houses the students, and there is a lounge which will be fully operational by the time we all come in. Some more photographs of our, those are our hostel rooms. These are on a double occupancy basis and very efficiently constructed to take care of students and look after their comfort, as well as being, like I said, very efficiently designed. These are our volleyball courts. That's a photograph of the classroom and some of our sports facilities. And also some photographs of the vibrant student community, which we talked about in the next slide. So that's a horticultural event, a freshers night, and a sports day. So you'll really, what we can promise you is you'll become part of a very vibrant community and a very active student life, not just with your batchmates, but also by the time you all come in, there'll be 2 classes of undergraduate students. And of course, you have the Plaksha faculty, the program team, and many more. So I can really promise you that it will be a very unique learning experience. So that's it from my side for now. Happy to answer any questions which you may have. And the team and I are really awaiting your arrival in Mohali in August this year. So over to you, Pavan.
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Thanks, Srabani, and thanks, Professor Ananda, for taking us through the academic overview of the program, life experiences, and helping understand what this program is all about. So now I would, I'm happy to invite Alex, who is one of the stellar faculty at TLP and has a very high popularity among the students for his course and his teaching. So Alex, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Pavan. And let me see if I can share my screen here now, because I only prepared a couple of slides to guide this very short session. Now, as Pavan said, then I teach a course at Plaksha called Projects and Applications in Data Science. And I also just agreed this week to do a third course that is going to be called ML3 that will be offered later in the summer. Now, the main goal of these courses are to teach applied and practical aspects of artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, and deep learning. So basically to look at these technologies and how they are applied in the real world. Now, before I dive in to sort of the topics covered in these courses, I just want to briefly say hi from my side. So I know Pavan did an introduction. I'm not going to do any overlaps. But I'm basically an AI and blockchain director at UC Berkeley. So I'm running the Learn to Launch program at Berkeley right now. And I am a faculty member and a guest professor that has developed one of the most popular courses in applied data science in the College of Engineering, where we're getting around 500 students every semester. Apart from that, I also have a little bit of an entrepreneurial journey behind me. Right now, I'm running 2 companies. One is called Berkeley, and that's an AI consultancy. And then I'm also running Galliot, that is a decentralized IoT network powered by blockchain technology. If any of that interests you, I'm happy to pick up the conversation later on. And last but not least, people also tell me that I should mention when I introduce myself that I was awarded the Amazon Alexa Innovation Fellowship as one of 10 faculty members globally in 2018, 2019 for the work that we did in the research lab at Berkeley on natural language processing. So I've also been a faculty member at Plaksha since the beginning of the Plaksha journey. So here you can see me with the inaugural cohort when we had the campus in Gurgaon, just outside of Delhi. It was a wonderful experience to be in India for a month and to meet all of the students and truly connect with them. A very immersive experience for me, also the first time in India, and I truly loved it. Now, if we look at the course or the courses that I teach, because it's actually a 3-part course, then as all of you might know, the technologies that relates to data science, machine learning, and deep learning, they are changing very rapidly. So many of these deep learning approaches that we see today, that people call artificial intelligence, they were not practical 10 years back. Many of them were pure science fiction 10 years back. And since this field is evolving so quickly and we're on this exponential trajectory, I think it's very important also for academia and for universities to be able to keep up the pace. And at Plaksha, there are many great courses that will teach you the theory behind novel and state-of-the-art artificial intelligence systems and algorithms. My courses are designed to teach you practical aspects, how you create problems that actually can solve real-world problems, how you create solutions that will solve real-world problems. So in the course, I will teach topics like web scraping, connecting to APIs in order to aggregate and fetch data for your applications, how you inspect and analyze and explore that data to gain insights, and then how you actually create, for example, natural language processing systems and algorithms. I had a course only this morning on some state-of-the-art algorithms like transformer models and how you put them into production. Computer vision, you can see an example of a real-time object detection algorithm running here in the GIF for the video to the right. We will cover that in the course. Also GANs for maybe creating deepfakes if that interests you, or other application areas with like real-time placements of product ads. Now for ML3, we're planning to cover deep reinforcement learning and how you in simulations can train agents to make smart decisions in any environment. I have also taught one session on graph databases and graph neural networks. And the current teaching assistant that I have for applications of data science 2 right now, he actually received a job offer from a really good company in Canada on graph neural networks, and he's gonna apply that in that setting. And he was first exposed to it in this course. We will also do some big data processing with Spark, Databricks, Ray from any scale, talk about modern data architectures, and how you put all of this into production. But yeah, the main reason and why I'm so excited to teach this course is because it covers what is valuable in industry and in the real world, so that you either can get the jobs that you want and contribute to exciting companies, or even to start companies of your own and create products that are valuable for the world. So with that, thank you. Happy to answer any questions later on. And if you want to connect with me, you can see my email here, my LinkedIn information, and my Twitter account. So over and out.
Thanks, Alex, for helping us unveil the world of data science and machine learning for the candidates. Now I invite Hitesh, for the next part, which is to dig deeper into the career outcomes, the career aspect which data science and machine learning, as an area offers to the candidates. Hitesh is a founder and trustee at Plaksha University and runs one of the biggest internet companies of the country. Hitesh, over to you.
Thank you, Pawan, and good evening, everyone. Like Pawan mentioned, I run InfoEdge. InfoEdge is actually better known for its web properties like Naukri.com, 99 Acres, and Jeevan Sathi. We're also investors and shareholders in Zomato and Policy Bazaar. And other than this, we have another maybe 35, 40 investments in internet startups. And I've been doing this for the last more than 2 decades now. Now, thanks to Naukri, which is India's #1 job board, we have a lot of data and we have a fairly good sense of what's happening in the job market. And also because we are connected with the startup ecosystem, we have a very good sense of what's happening in the startup world. And as some of you may know, the job market has been on fire for the last 3 or 4 quarters in India. There's a lot more demand than supply for high quality engineering and data science and digital talent. And the reason for that is that it's increasingly very clear, especially after COVID, that the future is digital, right? The world was already headed in that direction, but COVID has actually accelerated the trend in the last 2 years. So much so that there is a school of thought which now sort of believes that all companies in the future will be digital companies. And there are people who say, listen, all digital companies in the future will increasingly be data science and AI and ML companies, right? So it's increasingly it's evident that the new economy is going to be a data economy. There's so much data everywhere thanks to these internet platforms. So most internet platforms, especially in countries like India, which have 20, 30, 40 million, 100 million, 200 million users. And these people spend a lot of time on these platforms. And because they spend so much time on the platform and they have so many users, there's a lot of data which they generate. So just the sheer volume of data, the velocity of data, the variety of data is exploding, everywhere, which creates new opportunities, right? And even traditional companies, the traditional sort of banks, the insurance companies, the retailers out there are increasingly also becoming more and more digital as we speak. I mean, 2 years ago, before COVID, some of these offline companies, so-called offline companies, used to say, listen, maybe we'll be happy if 2 years from now or 5 years from now, 20% of our business comes from the digital channel. Today, if you speak to any of them, they'll say, listen, we expect 70% of our business to be digital, in the next 2 years. I mean, that's the kind of change which COVID has brought about in the last 2 years, right? So, and I'm sure you're also familiar with, all of you, I'm sure, read newspapers and blog. Maybe you don't need newspapers offline, you need newspapers online. But, India in the last 18 months, or maybe not even 18 months, in the last, I think 12 or 14 months in India, we've had close to 45, 50 new unicorns, right? So the total number of unicorns in India today is maybe close to 100. And again, there are projections that this number may actually touch 500 in the next, 5 or 7 years, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that the future is digital. There's a huge opportunity in front of us. Every company is basically headed that way. And a lot of the value which digital companies are going to create is going to come from the data they have, right? Which they have been collecting and which they continue to collect every minute as we speak. And why is this data so valuable? Because I think increasingly companies are seeing and benefiting from the fact that this data can be leveraged to generate insights on the business and the market, and increasingly in real time. Not just, you don't have to wait for months to process the data. You can actually generate these insights pretty much real time. This data can be used to predict the future, right? On Naukri, for example, I was just looking at some data. We can actually now predict, with fair degree of accuracy as to where salaries are headed. We can predict where demand is headed for certain skills, right, in IT skills, because we have we have all these CVs which we collect every day. People add new skills to their CV and so on and so forth. This data is being used to build new products. So a lot of new products are actually data products at a lot of these companies, internet companies, and these products are increasingly getting monetized as well, right? This data is being used to personalize user experiences. So why should somebody who's 25 years old have the same experience as somebody who's 35 years old? Why should somebody who's a IT professional based out of Delhi have the same experience on the platform as somebody who's a sales professional based out of Bombay or who's a banking guy? So the data is being used to personalize user experiences. The data is being used to service customers better through chatbots and assistants and so on and so forth. So the recommendations on the platform are getting better. One of the big challenges we have as a job board, and this is where we apply a lot of machine learning, and we built a lot of models over the years, is matching jobs to CVs, because every CV is different, and every job is different. And one of the big complaints our customers have had over the years is that when you post a job on Naukri, you end up getting 500 applications. Now you want to hire only one person. So can you use technology to narrow it down to like 10 people who we can interview, right? And if you can do that, then you can save us a lot of work. And then, but how do you do that? So again, a lot of machine learning, a lot of data science, a lot of algorithms need to be sort of applied to sort of make that happen. And similarly, on the job seeker side, we have tens of millions of job seekers on our platform, and every day we get a few thousand jobs. So how do we send the right job to the right job seeker? Because if we send them too many jobs, they get spammed, they think they're irrelevant. On the other hand, if it's very tight, they can miss out on a lot of opportunities. So how do you sort of develop these algorithms, fine tune them, make them better over time? Another sort of big area of application for us. Salary predictors, we've sort of developed salary predictors and salary tools to help people understand their worth in the job market. Like I mentioned earlier, insights on the skills which are going to be in demand so that people can upskill themselves, train themselves to acquire those skills ahead of time. Spam detection, fraud detection, creation of ontologies, taxonomies. In one of our businesses, we apply a lot of predictive analytics. So we charge, for example, in Jeevan Sathi, which is our matrimony business, it's a freemium model. Now, we don't want to call everybody and ask them to pay. So we use a lot of predictive analytics to understand from user behavior as to who are the guys who are likely to pay. And then we just focus our energies and efforts on them. And so on and so forth. So the number of applications are endless. But the problem is that there's a dearth of good people. There aren't enough people to sort of do all this for us. So just to give you a sense of our team, we have close to maybe about 800 people in our product development sort of groups in the various businesses we run internally. Close to maybe 500 or 600 of them are engineers. But our data science group is only 35 people. And these are, of course, very, very high quality people. And it's not as if most people in the company would not want to do data science. It's just that the data science group is choosy, and they don't want to hire anybody and everybody. But on the average, the people in the data science group end up earning maybe 40%, 50% higher, more than people in the engineering teams. And they, of course, see faster career progress and growth as well, right? The other thing I want to sort of talk about is the fact that, while you need technical skills to get into a company, because that's how you get hired. You can't get into the data science group or the engineering team unless and until you have the right technical skills. The truth is that of the 500 people we have in the engineering team, the 40 people we have in the 40 people we have in the data science team, maybe the 40 product managers or 50 product managers we have, and the 40 designers we have, UX guys we have, etc. Only a handful will sort of make it to the top, right? So only a few of them will end up becoming CTOs or start their own companies, or sort of make it to the top. And the reason for that is the fact that to get to the top, you need to sort of develop good leadership skills over time, right? So in the beginning, your programming skills, your data science skills, your engineering skills sort of get you in. But after a while, unless and until you have great interpersonal skills, unless and until you are a good people's person, unless and until you have problem-solving skills, unless and until you're a good communicator, it gets harder and harder to rise to the top. And which is where this Plaksha program is again very, very different from the other sort of data science programs or ML and AI programs which you may encounter online and offline, right? There's a lot of emphasis on personal development. There's a lot of emphasis on interpersonal communication skills, leadership skills, etc. Because that's what you need to sort of rise up the corporate ladder, or even if you want to start your own company. I mean, if you become a founder of a startup tomorrow, you're in a sales job actually more than in any other job. You have to hire people, you have to get them to work for you, you have to get investors on board, you have to get customers. So you need skills which go beyond technical skills to succeed in some of these more important sort of higher end roles, right? So I don't know how much time we have, but to cut a long story short, there's a dearth of good people in this discipline. This is a growing area. Lots of applications. I just mentioned the applications in the online world, lots of applications in other industries as well, in biology, in drug discovery, in weather prediction, in space tech, in health tech, in the medical world. I mean, the data science sort of field is actually a horizontal, it's not a vertical, right? There are applications across the board. The online world, of course, is very, very hot right now. So they are hiring a lot of people and they're willing to pay a lot. But there are applications across the board. So I would encourage you to take some time off, and invest in yourself to acquire these skills. It'll, I think, put you on a very good, on a very different career trajectory going forward.
Thanks, Hitesh, for highlighting the importance of data science and the kind of career outcomes it can deliver, the opportunities it offers. And TLP, in fact, is a very comprehensive, as we call it, 360-degree transformation. It probably touches upon all the aspects which would be needed to really lead on the tech companies and tech products in future. So I think this would have given a pretty comprehensive overview to all the candidates about how the program is designed and academics and the experience. Now we can open it up for any questions, suggestions or experiences, because these people have been part of the process, have been interacting with us. So feel free to ask any questions about anything or share your experiences. So now the house is open for all to participate in the discussion.
Good evening, sir. Divyanshu this side.
Yeah, Divyanshu, good evening. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the valuable opportunity. Thank you to the entire Plaksha team. So there were two primary questions. So one was regarding the presentation with which Ananda sir actually showed. So it was regarding the capstone projects. So like if the team can like give the valuable insights on the same. And secondly, understanding the after Plaksha opportunities already, as you have explained in terms of the data science and the entrepreneur journey, of course, which together it imbibes. Like if in more detail, if give a light on that. Yeah, these two are primary questions.
So you are asking about the capstone specifically and the entrepreneurship opportunities, just to be clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. So capstone for entrepreneurship, or overall capstone, which one?
Overall capstone, the
Sure.
entire year.
Sure. Okay. So this year, what we're thinking is the capstone, the whole point of the capstone was, how do we, all the things that you're learning through this program, how do you apply it in a real world problem scenario, right? And so what we have thought about this year is that we are going to work with either companies, or of course, some students may come with their own ideas. And we will run through this over a period of 4 to 5 months. Okay. And while you're learning, as you have learned a certain amount, then you can start defining the capstone or designing what the solution for a capstone will be. And you start working on it. And 2 months of that 5-month period will be actually either on site with a company or at the campus, where if the companies are doing this remotely. But the whole point is that you learn through this journey of 4 or 5 months, and you try to actually address 1 or 2 interesting problems. If it's your entrepreneurship capstone, you could decide, say, for example, you can say, I want to solve a problem of, say, something that Hitesh talked about. So in drug discovery, I want to analyze how the whole drug research is done to come to an answer whether the drug is actually effective or not. So obviously that means you need a lot of data sources, which is giving you this information that you can now going to distill through using AI/ML techniques, and then coming up with an answer. Okay, is this drug going to be ready for actually taking mainstream, let's say. So that could be one example. So you might be building this product, you will obviously connect to a lot of organizations which is giving these data sources, which you'll play with, and then try to get some answer. So that would be how your capstone might look like, right? And for becoming an entrepreneur, the two things we talked about, one, we talked about the entrepreneur experienced entrepreneurs coming and talking to you over multiple sessions. And that will be an opportunity we will really categorize that over multiple aspects of an entrepreneurship journey so that you can get different types of inputs, starting from, again, I'll fall back on Hitesh's comments on, if you're a real entrepreneur, you're going to think of many things, right? First of all, your product idea, then how to cleanly present it it could be focusing on fundraising aspect, but also how to take it to market and how to sell, right? So this whole journey is important. And that's also something that you're going to get inputs on for being an entrepreneur.
I think for the second part of Divyanshu's question, Pawan, do you want to just put up the slides which talks about the career outcomes after TLP?
Yes, I think, sure, that can be helpful.
So Divyanshu and everyone, these are some of the career outcomes which have happened to our 120 alumni who have graduated from the program. So people have taken up roles in data science, product management, sometimes working as an EA in the CEO's office of a tech company. This information is there on our website. Our placements report is there on the website, but some of the organizations which recruited from Plaksha TLP has been BCG, Fractal, Paytm, Cisco, Eightfold.ai, Walmart, HRS, InfoEdge. One of our students even made it to the Silicon Valley internship program, which is a very prestigious program and picks some 30 students from across the world every year. Pawan, maybe we can show the rest of the slides as well. Apart from corporate careers, we also had students who went on to do their own startups, as was shown in the deck earlier. The synth team, Urvin, Vaibhav, and Sunil from our founding cohort, who were selected for YC in summer of 2021. So some 15% from the first two cohorts decided to take the big leap into setting up their own entrepreneurial ventures. Timveda is another company which was featured as one of the healthcare startups to watch out for. In fact, Hitesh has been one of the mentors for Timveda. So we have all these startups which are mentored by the part of the Plaksha founding community. We also have a Center for Entrepreneurship. For those of you who are interested in entrepreneurship, I think you'll find a very conducive environment for the same. And the third outcome of you can come into this program and decide which of these you want to be. We've seen people come in saying that they want to be data scientists, and by the time placements comes around, they say, no, we want to start our own venture. Or people who come in saying we want to be entrepreneurs and end up being product managers instead. So the idea is to give you a platform and for you to explore what you really want to be, where you want to head. I think we have a couple of questions, right?
Yeah, thanks, Srabani, for a very elaborate answer on career outcomes. Yeah, Adarsh, you can go ahead. I would request everyone just to introduce yourself before you ask a question in a line so that we know your background. Yeah, Adarsh, please go ahead.
Hello. Firstly, thank you for having this session today. My name is Adarsh Nair. I am based in Mumbai currently. I've had some prior work experience, about 2 years of work experience, but not relevant to the data science field. I had this particular question to the panelists, which is given now the amount of advancements that is happening in this particular field, and there are so many domains that are opening up, like, for example, there's computer vision, natural language processing, and now to the relatively newer ones, which is graph DBs and probably even quantum machine learning, quantum ML, if I have to say so. So with so many subdomains coming up within the artificial intelligence domain itself, how do I, as a candidate, firstly, should I be focusing on all of them, or should I be first at least getting a minimal exposure to some of these and then digging deeper into a particular topic, say, for example? So I just wanted some clarity on that, and how that would help me out in, say, for example, creating my own startup, or say, for example, in my new job profile when I go for later on. Thank you.
Alex, why don't you
Yes,
take this on?
we'll be best placed to answer this.
No, I think that's an excellent question. And I mean, even as an active researcher in this field and a person who builds systems, it's very hard to keep up with all of the progress. And as you said, Adarsh, it keeps on branching right now. But I think that Hitesh, he actually expressed it very eloquently when he said that data science, ML, deep learning, it's a vertical kind of field right now. So, or horizontal. I mean, you don't have to go deep vertically. Basically, I see this as a toolbox. And if you get some exposure to every field that is relevant today, that is changing the world, and in a year or two, it might be quantum machine learning, Adarsh, as you said. But it's about being exposed to everything that could be relevant for an idea that you have, or also be able to actually pursue opportunity recognition. Because if you're exposed to many different varieties of tools in this toolbox, that is AI, data science, and machine learning, all of a sudden you will start to encounter problems that companies have and that you feel that you can fix, or that everyday people have, and you might even have an impact in the world on ethics or global warming or social justice, etc. There is so much we can do with this technology. And since we're only getting more and more data out from individuals and different aspects of the world, from IoT sensors and all the devices being online, etc., we can utilize that data in order to have some impact. But the brief answer is, I think it's great to get exposure to all the state-of-the-art approaches. And then whatever you need in order to solve the specific problem that you recognize is a problem that you think is relevant to pursue and that excites you. And if you have the passion around it, then you're going to find momentum to go deeper on that specific vertical.
That answers my question. Thanks. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Adarsh, for the question. Any more questions by anyone? You can also share your experiences or any other comment on any of these points if you, I mean, it's not only about question.
You can also talk about what excited you to join Plaksha. That's also, we are welcome to talk about that. Any of you. We'd love to hear.
Hi. Yeah, I have a question. By the way, I'm Monish. I'm from Chennai. I have 3 years of work experience, one year in corporate, and currently I'm in academic research for the past 4 years. So I have the question to the panelists that I just want to know about the mentorship, like, how are mentors assigned to the students, and are, do these students get to choose the mentors based on the goals that they have? Or I know it's like one of the biggest, opportunities through this TLP is to connect with diverse set of people. So how is this mentorship assigned, or is it like just open where we go and talk to people? And yeah.
No, good question, Monish. So mentorship is a very, as I said, it's a signature part of the program. There is a form which students fill up when they come in, where you have to answer a lot of questions, including what you're looking at from your mentor. So it could be technical expertise, it could be somebody just for overall, a career guidance, it could be somebody in a particular domain. So once the mentees fill up all the questions and submit the form back to us, we also have a pool of mentors. As I said, currently we have about 40 mentors in the program. And then it's a kind of a matchmaking exercise, because even our mentors, they indicate sometimes what they're looking for from their mentee. So that's how mentors and mentees are assigned. And then the program team takes you through the process where mentors and mentees are connected, and they have sessions through the rest of the program, and sometimes even beyond. So it is not just mentees coming in and choosing, as you said. It is a very so it's a matchmaking process where a lot of thought and process has gone into it, and that's how we assign mentees to mentors.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. That answers my question.
No,
yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough data to apply machine learning as yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Srabani. Thanks, Monish. Any more questions by anyone? If not, then we are on time, and in fact we are going to have so many such opportunities in weeks and months to come, and that's what I'm going to talk about now, the way forward till we join the program in August 22. So this we are going to continue the interaction and engagement so that we all meet and understand each other more better. So these are a couple of things we are going to sort of invite you for next in days to come. We will have more interactions with the community, with the founders community, faculty community, and peers. We would also be starting a buddy connect with alumni, connecting all the admitted candidates of next class to alums, so that they help them understand and align their career choices. We will also have some exclusive faculty sessions. We are planning a data science day in which we will have, more deep interactions on data science and machine learning topics. We will be sharing a list of some prerequisite courses. While they are not mandatory, but it will be helpful if you could spend time and go through them. It would make your sort of experience in the program more richer. And like we did for Infinity 2.0, we are going to keep inviting you for the Plaksha events as they happen in the university. And we will maybe have some virtual or in-person campus tours as the situation unfolds outside. So next events, we'll have an event towards end of Feb or first week of March, in which we will invite all the admitted candidates of new class to talk more about themselves. We want the peers to know more deeply, with the background they come from, the kind of work they have done, and the kind of career aspirations they have. So that's going to be Know Your Peers event in last week of Feb. And then we will also be organizing some very small group sessions with the program director, wherein you could have very close interactions with respect to TLP or your career and professional aspects with Srabani. So stay tuned as we embark on this new journey in August 22. I'm sure we are going to be interacting and enjoying this journey so far. So I thank all of you for joining us this evening. I thank Alex, Anando, Hitesh, Srabani for wonderful experience sharing and helping the candidates understand about TLP in more depth. So looking forward to meet you again on the next event. Thank you everyone for joining us today on this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.